And we're back in the building. I got my guy RYL, and we've got a lot to discuss, man. What are you saying, my guy? You right?
I'm good, my bro, man. How are you? How's things?
I'm good, man. I mean, we got to talk about the elephant in the room with Gyokeres. There's stuff with Rodrygo, Isak to Liverpool, and although we're getting Gyokeres, naturally everyone's gonna look at obviously Isak and think, oh, Gyokeres ain't nothing. I want to ask you some things though, man. Let's start. Like the first thing, yeah, because me and you have done a few streams, and we still got a lot of incomings and outgoings and everything to do. But we've been here, and I've had a few people in addition to you on the platform, and it's all been, nothing's changed with Berta. We're not doing nothing. The club, this, that, and the other, which could be right. But if you do that, then when the club are making movements, you have to give credit where it's due. So I guess I'm gonna ask you, like, do you feel people prematurely were judging the club, and if not that specifically, Berta?
Yeah, I think so as well. Is because when you're thinking about Berta, you need to remember he's a different type of sporting director, different type of person to Edu. If you was thinking about before, do you remember Edu would be on the socials a lot? He'll be talking a lot. Berta, I haven't even heard him talk. I don't even know what the guy sounds like. Right, so he's very
Trust.
efficient. You know what I mean? So he's very efficient. Also, you need to realize this as well, was that Edu, he goes for one single target and then he can't pivot. That's the reason why we was landing ourselves in so much hot water. Crazy. Berta now, think about it. Last week, 2 weeks, all of a sudden it hit July, 2nd of July, personal terms agreed with 4 or 5 players. That already should show you he's looking at multiple targets. If you're dilly-dallying or if something doesn't really work out, he pivots to the next one, right? The other thing as well, my bro, both of us said it in multiple streams. I think people are so concerned about the order of where the players are coming in first. They want a Gyokeres first and then a Rodrygo first. And then sometimes it doesn't work like that, especially when it comes to like complex transfers. You need negotiations. You need to meet 1, 2, 3 times, right, to make the thing happen. So you can't wish, okay, get the striker first and then get Rodrygo straight after. No, as long as for me personally, I want most of our transfers to be done before we go on pre-season tour.
We
But
got just over a week.
Yeah, just over a week, because look, we got Mosquera agreed on personal terms. He's already flying into London. We've got Madueke already in London, flown back from America. We've got Gyokeres apparently in London already. That's already 3 guys that you should be agreeing personal terms with before we go on personal tour. And the reason why I rate Arteta about that as well is because he pushed for Gyokeres. He kept pushing, like, yo, get it done. Pre-season tour. Now, when it comes to the Eze and the Rodrygo, I understand those are a bit more complex when it comes to completing those, right? So I'll give you to the end of the window. But if we can get those 3 before pre-season tour, what do you think, bro? What do you think?
Dream chasing. I'd love to see it. Based on what I read today, yeah, and obviously journalists say things and whatnot. I feel it's a thing where maybe Arsenal are not pushed to sell because we've got room to maneuver. But it feels like, as you said, the Madueke, Gyokeres, Kepa, Zubamendi, Norgard, Mosquera. I might be missing something. It feels like them ones are done. The club might start focusing on shifting a Zinchenko or Fabio Vieira, potentially Kivio. The list goes on. And then when we see some outgoings with that, we might look at the budget we've got and say, do you know what? Rodrygo, Eze, because I thought Eze, I didn't even think Gyokeres, but I didn't think Eze would be a thing where you're there for Singapore. But I feel that's one that could be wrapped up quickly. Based on what I'm reading now, that it just feels, because how journalists are kind of briefed at times. It's like they all kind of have the same tone. It just feels like there might be a pause on negotiations before we obviously go to that. And it feels like with Eze, it's not that we can't do it, but it's like we don't want to pay the release clause. We might be waiting to see if Crystal Palace's position kind of shifts. I think he's got 2 years left on his deal. So between now and the latest January, which is techie in itself, this is your last time to try and get a decent fee. Because if he's got a year left on his deal next year, they might, how football works. He's 28. He's got 1 year left on his deal. It's not that we think Eze is a bad player, but it has to make sense. Do you really think we'll get Eze and Rodrygo though? Because I must admit, I don't. I've said this to you before. I don't. I'd love to be proven wrong. I don't, though.
No, I have to agree. Obviously, dream chasing, it would be great to have both. But realistically, in terms of the budget, especially I'm hearing figures of around 80 to 100 million euros for Rodrygo. That's hefty. Especially we've done some business already, right? So
Fact.
I personally, as much as I love the fact of Rodrygo, I love the signing of Rodrygo. I think he would be almost like an X Factor type of signing. But I think if I'm thinking with my head and not my heart, I'd have to go with Eze.
That's a good question. Which one would you prefer? It comes down to it, like one or the other.
My
You
heart,
got you've got Rodrygo. Both clubs are happy to deal with us. We're
yeah.
gonna put money down, but you can only have one.
Do you know what?
Jin, bro.
My heart would love Rodrygo, right? My heart would love it, but my mind, the logic in me is telling me Eze.
Why? Expand on that.
Do you know what it is? It's that with Eze, I think he can play multiple positions and he will cover us in an array of ways, right? It's almost like Rodrygo, he plays in one position, actually two positions. He can play in two positions, but I think we've got decent cover for that if we had to kind of go there. With Rodrygo, he would be the best winger on that left-hand side. But if I had to think about the weaknesses, bro, some of the weaknesses that we was thinking about, it's not just left wing, it's that center as well. Odegaard, people complaining about Odegaard, no? Right? And I agree. Like
Facts.
I'm not gonna say Odegaard is shit, like the way some guys have been kind of going over the top, but I agree he needs to be pushed. I agree that, sometimes if he has another season like he did last season, what we're gonna do? All right.
His
So
writing's on the wall, unfortunately. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know if he'd be sold, but Odegaard can't afford to have another season. Now, I don't have any evidence to go on this, but I don't think he will be that bad. I'm not saying he's going to get back to the 2022-23 season, or maybe even the year we ran it to the last day of the season. He can't afford to have that, because I'm sure you've seen Sammy Moltbell's also said within the next 12 months, there might be an unpopular sale, or a big man needs to kind of be sold to offset the spending. Now, naturally, as you kind of touched on it, we have to throw Odegaard in there because of his form. Naturally, Martinelli's one that's going to be there. Kai Havertz, we're not going to get away from that. Beyond that, naturally, Jesus is going to be there and whatnot. To be fair, it's completely off topic. In fact, we'll get into that. I want to ask you with Eze and Rodrygo, yeah, like, firstly, with Rodrygo, do you think we're gassing him? Because I ask you this because I think he's a talented player. I agree with what you said in that he's a standout on the left wing. Obviously, he'll be a talismanic figure. I think it would work. But are we putting him at a level he's not? Like, I don't know if he's going to have that Alexis Sanchez type impact for us. I don't know.
Do you know what we said the same thing? Well, I said the same thing before we got Sanchez. I looked at him and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. But the Barcelona fans were like, yo, listen, you've got a player on your hands.
Serious
And
guy.
and the Real Madrid fans are saying the same thing. If you go into their Twitter, they're saying the same thing. Like, listen, if he goes, whatever team gets him, they're gonna have a proper player on their hands. For me now, bro, it comes into balance, right? It's because although I want Rodrygo, like you just touched there, my bro, it could go wrong. It could. Because, Prem proven. People want to talk about this Prem proven, quote unquote Prem proven. It's a big thing because sometimes you come and look at Radamel Falcao, for example. Great striker elsewhere, hitting numbers elsewhere, coming to the Prem twice.
Shevchenko as well.
Shevchenko, Radamel Falcao coming to the Prem twice. Just because you thought, oh, maybe it was Chelsea. Nope, coming to Man United, flopped again. Some people just cannot handle the Prem. It is what it is. We're a different league, different tempo. So we need someone that is going to be prime and ready. You already said it there, my bro. The writing's on the wall, not only for Odegaard, but for Arteta. He needs to come in and shut a lot of mouths up, because I'm still under the impression that he's still the right guy. I want to give him his flowers for now.
But he needs to win something.
But he needs to win something. So I completely understand the other side of the fence where they're like, no, he needs to go. One trophy in 6 years when Maresca's coming in and doing a
A lot of money.
bag of trophies. A lot of money being spent. I completely get it. But I'm just going to give him that last season for him to be like, right, you've got all your tools. You've got your midfielder. You've got your striker. You've got whatever you need to get. Now show me. Right? That's it. That is it now. That's all we need to be. That's all we need to be focusing on. But for you, my bro, what I wanted to ask you is that what do you think we need in terms of Eze or Rodrygo? What would you rather? What do you think the team needs right now?
Fucking hell, man. It's a difficult question, man, because if I start with Rodrygo, obviously, as you said, signings might not bang and whatnot, but I think fans need a lift. Obviously, we'll touch on Gyokeres a bit more specifically, but fans need a lift. People need to believe in stuff. I know we're a long way away from the Glazidas days, but when you're telling us about Real Madrid and Bayern Munich level, who better than a man that's at Real Madrid and whatnot? And he's an evident level raiser. Now, we'll touch on Madueke, and for all the talk about Eze, I know some people say he's not a good option off the left, and I hear it. He can play in a lot of positions, but also off the left. I think with Rodrygo, he's a standout left winger. Madueke, at this moment in time, Madueke, Trossard, Martinelli. I don't know who the number one is. I could bet on Madueke because we brought him. We'll touch on him. Martinelli, I still think it's yours. Trossard, I don't know. So he's evidently a level raiser, point to prove, talismanic figure. He's seen firsthand what Arsenal were on, all of that kind of stuff. And he's 24, so it kind of gels in. With Eze, when I get away from the glitz and glamour of what Rodrygo could be, and no doubt he can impact, obviously, like that comment says there, yeah, physicality, I don't know. I don't think you could. Obviously, he's not a physical man. I don't expect him to hold off bare tackles and barge people and stuff. But I just think in the Prem, it's if you're on it. Like, we've had small man like Fabio Vieira. Equally, you've seen Santi, David Silva, this one, that one. Obviously, the ability is one thing, but they're on it, innit? You can't really barge them off the ball. So if he can adapt, he can adapt. Obviously, to have him and Lewis Skelly off the left's great. But it's almost like, I know what I'm getting with Eze, as you've kind of touched on. I know people say he's not a left winger and whatnot. If we disregard the fact that he can play in other roles and we just assume my man's a left winger, he's better than Madueke there. He's better than Trossard there. He's better than Martinelli there. He's probably better off the right than everyone apart from Bukayo Saka. Clearly, it puts pressure / eases the pressure off Odegaard. And I don't think you would see like Eze and Rice or Eze and Zubamendi on a consistent basis, but there might be cute and clever games to go and do that. And I think you know yourself because you're a qualified coach. I don't think that signings is just going to help us break down low blocks and that, but it's a very good tool to have. You know, him, Odegaard, Eze, Odegaard, Wanyeri, the players in the pockets. So it's almost like I know what I'm getting. And for me, I think the deals are equally hard. I think you could argue Real Madrid might be like a bit more open to selling Rodrygo, but it just feels like there's more of a willingness with the Eze thing. You know where they stand with the release clause. You know, if we really have spoken to the advisors and done all of that, then for us, it comes down to either putting down the money for his release clause, or if you're not going to activate that, making sure you hit whatever Crystal Palace want. But it makes sense. You can't just run them 20 million and then say in 2030 we'll give you another 20 million. So exactly. So for me, to answer your question, I think I'm on just pouring everything into the Eze boat, get that over the line, get some sales going. Then if there is a couple of quid to spend, then go for Rodrygo. But then it comes for a question for me to ask you. Like, when I look at Madueke, I hear all the talk. We see rumors that Arteta believes he's a left winger. And kind of going back to what you said, I think the guy has to get over the line. For me, if you believe Madueke is a left winger, you've got to make it work. I've got all the time to develop Madueke, but under the guise of getting over the line, there's no in between. Because if it doesn't bang and he doesn't get goals and whatnot, it's another one that you're not a bad player, but it's just mix and blend and whatnot, if that makes sense to you. I don't think it's a market opportunity. I genuinely feel I don't necessarily think he's the first choice. We might have gone for a Nico Williams, we might have gone for a Rodrygo, and it can't happen. I think he likes Madueke. I actually don't know if Madueke is going to be a squad player, because many people will say, oh, you know what, 50 million a squad player, that's not too bad. But he's either going to be the left winger, he's either going to be a squad player, or I just feel if they wanted him last year and they went into the summer with him, I know managers lie. But is it too far-fetched to believe he's going to play a lot more football than people expect? Obviously, because of how we saw last season play out, but there's also that. But one thing I wanted to ask you, right? Obviously, Rodrygo's going to cost you, set you back on a good day, 60, 70, all the way to 100. Eze, we know that's the 60-odd million mark, yeah? We have spent 50 million on Madueke. Obviously, you tie in Gyokeres, Zubamendi, all the deals we've done so far. What if Madueke, the 50 million, we're committing to that? What if that cripples our ability for the Ezes and Rodrygos or both or whatever?
The thing is that one thing I always say with that question you just asked me there, my bro, is that Berta wouldn't have agreed personal terms with these specific players if they thought there was any chance in hand that they could probably not get two out of them. You know, I think probably one we probably won't get out of the three. We probably won't get Rodrygo, Eze. We probably won't get one. Right, but obviously we was thinking about Gyokeres. Gyokeres was a part of that three. So we're out of the three. We've got Gyokeres, that's hands down. And then I think we'll probably get another one. But I know for a fact, especially with Berta, in terms of we'll embarrass ourselves if we agree with personal terms with three and only get one of those three. That makes no sense. So I think out of the three, we'll get two. With this, my bro, I'm just going to ask you this before I answer your question. Do you think if Madueke came from PSV instead of Chelsea, right? And you're seeing the compilations, because people love compilations on YouTube. They go on YouTube, watch compilations. So if you go and see Madueke, what he was doing at PSV, would you have liked that purchase? Or would you think Arsenal fans in general would have liked that purchase for PSV?
I think they'd be a lot more comfortable with it. I still think people would be pardon my
Mm,
language, bitching like, "Oh my god, it's not a level raise," and it's not. I hope it works out. I hope the
mm,
manager shows why he's the
mm,
manager and we're armchair experts in it. So I can understand the frustration, especially with Liverpool got Verts, they're being linked with Isak and Rodrygo. We know what City's on. We're seeing what other people are doing. So naturally, I do think there'd be less tension on him. It's just the fact that obviously it's ex-Chelsea. Obviously, we're frustrated about not getting over the line and everything in between. And I just feel with Madueke, I would also say it's not necessarily to do with Chelsea anymore. It's a sense of in a day and age where we just need to get over the line and everyone presents a risk. Yeah, Madueke, it could be an expensive gamble. You're kind of betting on potential. He needs to realize the potential. And I'd say I feel like that. Me and you have spoken about it before. I'm not on this, pitchforks for Madueke. He's mad rubbish. He's whatever. I just feel if we're going to take gambles and potential and all of that, I'd rather it with Mascara, the young centre back, because I've seen a track record with improving that. And obviously, our defenders, they're all consistent. I think in the attacking rank, I don't feel they're bad players. But if we're talking about getting over the line, then I don't know what I'm getting. Honestly, I don't know what I'm getting every week. I know what Saka's on. Asterix Wanyeri. I think Marino can get goals. I think Havertz can. I think Martinelli and Trossard and Madueke can. But 3-4 games, I don't know what I'm getting. Like, I really don't. So I think it's an expensive gamble. It's probably seen as another kind of potential player. And Arteta's got to make that work. I think that's the issue. I feel sorry for Madueke because you can be concerned about the deal, say you wouldn't have done it, believe in him. Obviously, once it goes into abuse and petitions and the rest of it, got to remember at the end
mm,
of the day, this is a 23-year-old lad that's gone from Chelsea to play for Arsenal. Like, give him your support in that regards. And I think he's an England international. I'm sure he wants to play at the World Cup. I'm sure he wants to play in a mad way. I like his attitude in that. I think he's got an ego problem. Like he'll genuinely be offended about being on the bench. But as you know, the only thing Madueke can do is make it work, innit? Like most fans would just say, you know what, fair enough. Do you think it's lazy scouting? Because it just feels like we do debate things.
do you know what it is? Is that when I first when I first heard about Madueke, I think nah, you know, it was a joke. When I saw we actually went for him, I started watching not his compilations but his full matches, right? And the one thing I have to say about Madueke, which is his skill set, he can beat any man very easily. He
He's
doesn't
on
have to
taking his man
think
on.
about beating a man. He's on that. We don't really have players that can do that, right? We have a stop start side. Saka's a stop start. Martinelli just runs down the wings almost like he's got a neck brace on. He just runs down. But Madueke can beat you on the outside and he can beat you on the inside. Hence the reason why he plays on left for England as well and sometimes for Chelsea. The thing about Madueke, which I'll say, is he's very raw. He's still very, very raw in terms of a player, right? And I think when he went from PSV to Chelsea, you know the environment. They're not about nurturing players. They're about, listen, we like your potential. Are you good? Cool, you stay. If you're not good, bro, we're not giving you 2 years. Arsenal, we do that. We love getting a player and nurturing them and stuff like that. With the skill set that he has, bro, I honestly think Arteta's done it before. Havertz, when he was at Chelsea, the numbers that he was putting up, I don't need to say anything. But when he come into here, don't get me wrong, he's not the best of players, but he's definitely up to it. He's done it with a couple of other people as well. So I think maybe a quote unquote maybe, my bro, this environment at Arsenal Football Club might be the right environment to start seeing the best of Madueke, because you can
It
tell
needs to.
his the decision making poor, right? He beats a man and then it's almost like he doesn't know what to do at the end of it. Sometimes he doesn't know when to pass. Sometimes he gets the ball in these situations where he's not exploiting the space enough, right? So that needs to be coached, and it can be coached. And that I'm in two minds right now. One mind, if he gets coached and coached well, he could be actually quite frightening. He could actually be quite frightening. But at the same time, if he can't be coached, then it's a big fail.
It's a big
That's
fail, and
that's
I even
that's where I stand at right now.
And that's the issue in that. On one hand, yeah, if the world was different and we had Rodrygo or this explosive left winger, by all means, train people. But it's like definitely for me, where the attacking unit's concerned, I kind of want sure bets. Fair enough. We could sign Gyokeres and he could be a flop. But I believe on the worst kind of season, you're getting 15 goals in the league. Best season, you're getting 20 plus. We know what Saka brings to the table. The left wing, they're just three man that are not bad players, could be utilized as squad players. And you're not wrong about it can be coached and all of these things. Again, Arteta's going to have to hold it, whether it works or not. But all the talk around attitude, consistency in training, all of these things, he's 23 in it. So maybe he's got an attitude problem. Maybe he's made mistakes and now the penny drops. You know, we've all made mistakes in our life. Clearly, Arteta and whoever involved at Arsenal, whether it works out or not, they don't have any concerns about how he is as a person. They might from the little things they can train. But then I find myself, when you said the coaching and whatnot, it made me think of Martinelli, because what you see is kind of what you get. And then I remember Wenger said this on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I'll read it out for everyone and then let me know your thoughts. He's now 23. This is obviously about Oxlade-Chamberlain, but people, you can see how this might apply to Martinelli and Madueke. He's now 23, and at 23 you become a football player who is the finished article. Before 23 you learn your job. At 23 you become more consistent. You know what's expected of you. You know how to deal with the pressure, with the situation, with the competition inside the squad. But he's so talented, so young, in the national team, so young. People forget he's still a young player. I think he has added some belief to his finishing. Now we have some hope that whenever he has the ball, something can happen. What do you make of that? Because for me, it kind of, if I didn't know that was about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in 2016, that could apply to Madueke in 2025.
Yeah, that can. And to be honest, that can apply to a lot of players. I think, do you know what it is? It's that he kind of, that first part was kind of, the second part kind of contradicted himself, because he says, look, cool, at 23, he's supposed to be more consistent, but he said, remember, he's so young, so young. Like he rephrased that, so young, right? And I think we're caught into the era of, you're seeing the Mbappes, you're seeing the Neymars, you're seeing the Lamine Yamals, you're seeing some of these special talent at a young age, duets, right? Special talent from the age of like maybe 18 to 20, 21. And everyone believes that, yeah, you know what, if you're 20, 21, you're supposed to be the finished article. Not taking into consideration the coaching, the
It's the rule rather than
all
the
of this and all of that.
exceptions.
Thank you. Right, there's a big, like, people just see what people actually produce on TV or on games, but they don't understand the training, even the mental side of it, the mental development side of it. They're completely disregarding that. You need to be in the right team with the right coach, telling you the right things, showing you the right things, showing you that these are your weaknesses. You need to improve on these weaknesses. Look. There. What
You
you've
got the
done there,
want
I
to
don't
do
want
it
you
as
doing
well.
that.
That's where I'm at with Madueke.
Exactly.
I don't know you as a person, but you've
Exactly.
got to want to do it, and I hope you do.
I'm saying, think about it. Right now, Chelsea, they're paying him a decent money, right? Why would he want to come to Arsenal if he doesn't have that so-called ambition?
Fair point,
I don't
really.
know, because think
At
about it.
this
We both said
moment,
it.
go on.
Saka's on the right. Sorry, bro. Saka's on the right, so he knows he's not going to take Saka's place, and he's thinking, what, Martinelli's on the left. You know, that's Arteta's pet boy over there. So he
All three
knows
of
he's
them
not
should
going to come
believe
into the
they
box.
could nail that spot down.
Thank
Like,
you.
if you're trust out, you should
And
believe you
just
could
before
make that yours.
Exactly. And just before I finish off, bro, someone in the chat said, "Oh, you know, if Eze comes in, where's Eze gonna play as an older guy?" I want that problem. I want a problem like that.
We want
Look at Man
depth.
City. Look at what they did. We want depth, and I don't want just depth in terms of, oh, we've got a great starting 11, and then the people that we bring on as a bench are all right or are average or just above average. No, I want world class for world class. This is how we're gonna win the league. This is how we win Champions League. But you know.
No, you're right. You're right in that regards. And with me, to a degree, with Madueke, yeah, it's on you and the player. At the end of the day, Arteta, you push for it. We're led to believe you wanted him last year. You need to make that really work in it, and I hope it does. I want it to work for Madueke, and I would say with Madueke, most fans, whether you go to the stadium, whether you're around the world, whether you just watch online, they'll have their opinions whether they believe in him or not. Because I do think we're doing that Arsenal fan thing where you slag off Madueke acting like it's great. Reality is he's not a bad player. He's not necessarily a good one. We don't really know what we're getting. We hope for the best. But where I hope Madueke is concerned is he's not an idiot in it. Like, I'm sure he knows the majority of Arsenal fans would support you. But the Chelsea stink, the very fact that we bought a player from Chelsea, the pressure and the want to win a league, the fee, the fact that I've said I don't know if you're in the strongest 11. So I just hope it works. You won't be the first or the last. I don't know if you agree with this comment from Boston. Madueke is giving me Henry vibes. No one wanted Henry when he came over. Turned out to be the best. Where you at with that? I think Boston, big up yourself. I think that's a stretch, but I hear it.
Yeah, like I kind of get the you know where the direction he's trying to go to, but like Henry vibes. Oof,
It's a big
I
statement.
think
I hope he looks like that.
Yeah, another player. Yeah, another player. But that's what I'm trying to say. Do you know what? One thing I do love about your audience and your supporters, bro, is that they know ball,
Big up the
because I'm
chat.
looking at the chat And most people are saying, big up the chat by the way. Most people are saying is that Eze has got that skill set. Eze needs, like, people are bigging him up. People are bigging him up. You're gonna get your Arsenal fans, and this is the thing about football. We're all gonna have an opinion, but it's how we deliver that opinion, right? And if you watch ball and watch Madueke, he's got a skill set, but he's got a lot of weaknesses, but that can be coached. Definitely.
And that's the thing. Like, that's the only thing. Like, just coach it out of you, get out of you. Because for me, it comes down to decision making. I like Madueke on the transition. I like him on the counter attack. But then we all know we move the ball very slow and we play low blocks. So how far is that really going? I do think you have the ability to crash the box, but if you're not getting the goals and assists, I actually think it's quite different. But a lot of the things I'm vexed about Martinelli, it's with you, Madueke. Now, I've obviously got more time for Madueke in that regards because you just signed for us and we're kind of where we're at with Martinelli. But yeah, man, it's gonna have to work. What's this comment say? Rodrygo's levels above as a left winger over Eze. It's not a debate. If Eze is brought in as an AM, then where does he play? Is he replacing Odegaard or Rice? Where you at with that? I know you alluded to it about depth.
Yeah. Again, it's all about depth, man. We need to get into a position where we have almost two squads or almost one and a half squads in terms of I can take off Eze or I can take off Odegaard and I'm cool. I know we've got Eze coming on. Or sometimes, you know what? I'm going to play Rice as the number 6. Zubimendi's going to rest. Yeah, because
Mix and
again,
blend.
I love Zubimendi. You know what I mean? I love Zubimendi, but people need to realize again, he might take him a bit of time to get used to it, right? So we need to take these things into consideration. So sometimes we might be like, okay, Zubi, rest. Norgard play, or Norgard go somewhere else, or Norgard rest as well. Rice play as the 6. Eze and Odegaard if we're trying to go for attack. One thing that we couldn't do last season, and one thing we haven't done for maybe 2 seasons, is throw the kitchen sink. Take off a right back and put on a winger like Liverpool done. Liverpool, absolutely. That's the reason why. Is because when things are
or just have normal fullbacks when the inverted thing isn't happening.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what you need sometimes, right? That's the thing about Arsenal. What stresses me about Arsenal, because I know 60th minute, if it's 1-1 60th minute, I know it's probably going to end in a draw.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? So we need to be pragmatic, man. We need that depth. If we can get Rodrygo and Eze, what? So what? What does that do? Competition for the players and people. Don't you think players, that us fans want Rodrygo? Don't you think players want Rodrygo? You're looking across, you're seeing a Rodrygo. Looking across, you're seeing a Gyokeres. You're seeing Eze. You're seeing Saka. You think, yeah, like we've got this. Oh, come on, man. Depth. Squad depth.
I think you're speaking facts. What do you make of this? Big up Gyokeres G9, man. Hopefully he gets signed off. My question is, how is Liverpool able to sign both Wirtz and Isak in the same window while we're haggling over bonuses with Sporting and release clauses with Crystal Palace? What do you say to that?
Well, the first thing you need to think about is that last year they didn't spend any money. They only bought Chiesa last year. And you need to remember as well is that I think in 2021, 2020, during the COVID times, they were still paying for the stand that they were building. So they finished paying for that now. So that's officially paid. So they don't have to owe any more money to paying for that stand. Plus, on top of that, they won the Premier League. They didn't spend no money last year. Chiesa, 20 million, nothing. Not playing for the stand no more. Gives you money.
They made a couple of sales as well, and will make some more. Probably 30-40 million for Harvey Elliott, and they sold that young centre back as well. They're making things happen.
Yeah,
potentially
they're making things happen. Yeah. So don't be surprised. It's just when you do a bit of research, you just like, oh, okay. Because I asked the same question. I was like, what the hell's going on? How comes Liverpool able to spend a little 250 just like that on like 4 players? That's crazy. 4 players, 250. That's crazy. That's why, man. Yeah.
I can't lie. What does it say if Liverpool are able to get Isak and we went for Gyokeres? Obviously, I'm happy with Gyokeres, but Isak was the one a lot of fans wanted. We're led to believe, the Ornsteins, the Romanos, all these guys have said Isak was the dream target. Fair enough, Liverpool have just won the league, but surely, like, what does that potentially tell you that maybe we've indirectly tried to speak to Isak before the window's open and it's not possible? Or like, where you at with Liverpool potentially getting him?
See, the thing is about Liverpool and Arsenal, we're at different stages. It's like they signed Wirtz. They signed their guy that they wanted, which was Wirtz, very, very early in the window. So they can just be like, like we're gonna chill for a little bit, like we're cool. Us, we done our main striker, what, 2 days ago, a day ago, right?
Yeah, so if that, like we still ain't got over the line. Yeah, I'm confident, but yeah.
All right. Calma. That's what I'm saying to the chat. Calma.
Yeah, literally. I think Gyokeres is done. I'll hold my L if it goes left, but I think we've got him.
No, it's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. But at the same time, it's that I think the main target for Arsenal, if they knew Isak was available, they would have went for Isak. I believe that. I truly believe if Isak was available, they would have truly gone for him. Everyone, even me and you, bro, we already knew Isak staying at Newcastle. The reason why
Oh,
everyone's
then
so
that's why if
surprised, Kism
Liverpool
was
go
like,
signing
wait, what?
madness.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're thinking, what?
Fair
Like,
play.
but you need to remember. You need to remember as well. It's like they're Newcastle bidding for Ekitike, which has just been rejected by Frankfurt, by the way, for 77 million. They're gonna go up again
Fucking hell.
because they know. 77 million got rejected. They're holding that for maybe like a 85 to 90. Now,
Plus they got
what do you
Marmoush
do?
money as well. They're
I'm gonna
probably not excited.
exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to throw it back to you, DG. What do you do as Newcastle? What do? You got Isak.
I can't lie. I'm
You got
telling Isak, give me
Ekitike.
one more year. You know, I'm genuinely telling Isak one more year because I don't think Arsenal are getting him. I actually think he will go Liverpool, but I just think give me one more year, Isak. Then I'll probably try selling Barcelona. They'll scramble their pounds together. They're gonna need a striker for Lewandowski. I'll tell him one more year. Obviously, you go and sign Hugo Ekitike. Naturally, everyone's gonna be like, that's either the long-term replacement for Isak or that's either his replacement. Now, I'd want to play them together at least for a year because I think. I still think the Premier League at this moment in time will be between Liverpool and City. Then, we'll be in the mix. Dark horses, Chelsea will be in the mix. Newcastle will be fighting for fourth. Get us Champions League football, and then it is what it is. For Isak, even if he's like to come into Arsenal, he's still under contract for like 3 years. How much of a fuss can you kick up? How much are Newcastle going to take that in? Because even looking at his fellow Sweden, Gyokeres, Gyokeres has had to kick up a fuss. I'm sure he didn't want it to get to this as Sporting, but that's where I'm genuinely where I'm at with that. I also think sometimes with Newcastle is that your Coutinho in that obviously you lose Isak in this day and age for what he's done, for what he is in the striker market. It's an L in it. Like we talk about match winners. God knows how many games Saka has won via scoring. The Lord knows how many Salah scored, Haaland, the list goes on. Isak has won you so many, not by himself, but he's won you so many games. So you're losing a match winner. But that being said, is that potentially their Coutinho? It's not the same, but Newcastle are clearly crippled by FFP. They've got the money to spend. You don't want to lose Isak in it, but maybe if you sell Isak, it allows you to mix and blend. And maybe you don't have a player as good as Isak, but you can get like a star left winger, star centre mid, etc. Personally, I think if it came to selling and they were to get Hugo Ekitike, maybe the Anthony Gordon one is an Anthony Gordon to Arsenal rumor is going to resurface. It's a techie one, man. It really is. It's techie, man.
I really don't want that. I really don't want that Anthony Gordon at the club. I think he's just so.
Yeah, you don't rate him. I wouldn't cry. No, but can you not want
I'll be vexed.
But is he worse than Madueke?
Do you know what?
Come on, man. In your heart, Anthony Gordon, Madueke.
Listen, bro. I'll tell you this. Madueke,
we've seen live what Gordon's done to us.
I hear that, but listen, Madueke, he has a skill set that we don't have at the club. We don't have a club that can just beat a man easy like that. Like I said, it can be coached.
What Gordon don't do that?
Does the same thing that Martinelli does. Martinelli does the same thing, man. I'm sorry.
But he gets the numbers, man. We've seen live he done the Omri celebration.
Listen, what I'll give Anthony Gordon is a bit more of a better finisher. I'll tell you that. But they both work.
Is he not a better player than Madueke?
No, who? Anthony Gordon. But Madueke.
At least with Gordon, I could see the angle. I know you can play off the left.
In this current moment, yep, I'll give that to you because obviously Anthony Gordon he's a lot more established. He's a lot more finished article. I'll give that to you definitely. Cool. But in this current moment in time, in a year's time, that could change completely.
I hope so because at the end of the day, I don't think we're getting Gordon. We've got Madueke. Whether you're going to be a right winger, left winger, I don't even know. Arteta, you can never rule out anyone playing anywhere. Just make it work. Eugene, I can't say I agree with this, but let's see. Gyokeres doesn't even make it into Arteta's top 5 list of strikers. People underestimate how rigid this guy is with regards to the way he wants to play. I think he's going to have to change. I think this is his Haaland moment, like with Pep Guardiola. People that understand ball know what I'm getting at. I disagree with that, but where are you at? You're the guest, man.
Bro, like, has Arteta even signed 5 strikers? has 5 strikers been in Arteta's? I don't think so. I think probably 2. We've had 2 strikers, Gabriel Jesus and Aubameyang. No, that's it.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. But in terms of actually answering the question of Gyokeres, I've always said this: if Marino can score 9 goals, right, Gyokeres should be able to score at least 15 goals. At least, I'm talking about
regardless.
At least 15 goals. Regardless, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? I get it. transition, I get it. He wants to obviously be on the last man. I get it. But how many times have we been on transition and have not scored? So many times. That's a lack of goals there. So yeah, Marino can do it. Gyokeres can do it without a doubt.
I want to ask you a question. Yeah, I had a panel show. I had a panel show. Appreciate that too. I had a panel show. Yeah, and Hooks said that he thinks Gyokeres is a better striker than Isak. Where are you at with that?
No, I definitely disagree. Like, listen,
Scores more for
I'm
Sweden.
glad we got Glock 9. Listen, cool. That's great. That's great. Good for him. But bro, Isak, he can play on the left
Yeah,
and the right. Isak can drop in, start linking the play. Isak can take on 2, 3 man. Did you see that against Everton? Isak
yeah.
gives you so many different things.
The
Isak
only
doesn't just
striker
give you
that can say
finishing.
is better than Isak is Haaland. And even that, he's got the general play and all that. I think Isak's more complete, but Haaland's just a monster in it. He's everything you want from a nine. That's madness.
Exactly. Man, in the box, there's no better than Haaland, right?
Yeah.
Isak, he's outside the box as well as in the box, like complete. Like, nah. Like, listen, I'm happy with Gyokeres, but Isak, nah. Like, respect to Isak, man. Big up to respect to Isak.
Big
Yeah,
up
for
to
real.
big up to Isak and shout out Gyokeres. But I'd love to, a year's a long time in football. Maybe a year from now we could have that, but that is a myth. That's a myth. I see DG is also one of those chatty patty ones with nonsense. Foxy, don't cry because Isak's going. It's cool, bro. You're gonna have to just let him go. It's all right, bro. It's all right. Newcastle's a big club. It just is what it is. Foxy just chatting, man. Gordon would be the first one to sell for us. Oh, so when I said that, I was knowledgeable. Now well, you know what? I'd cry about Isak too, man. You know what? He's the one made player for Arsenal that it's just never gonna play for us, really, man. Question:
Yeah.
If it was your decision to make, would you give the 9 to Gyokeres despite upsetting Jesus? Yes and no, because I just think that if I'm Gyokeres, you should take the 9. I can understand if you take the 14. I get the vibes. I'm not saying Gyokeres is a bad person, but I just think if Arteta or whatever said, yeah, don't worry about Jesus, we'll give you the 9, I think he would. I think just for a year, just pick a random number in it. Just pick a random number. I don't know. You've got Rice 41, you've got 49 Lewis Skelly. If there's a number that makes sense to Gyokeres, why not? But bro, as long as you score, I don't care if you're wearing number 99 or number 1 outfield, innit? Just do the job first and foremost, man. But yeah, it is what it
Nah,
is. Where you
I
at
hear
with
that.
that?
But players love numbers, innit? Do you know what I mean? For us fans,
True.
we
And
don't really.
he screams he wants the 9.
Players love numbers. He wants the 14. Yeah.
I
Plattenberg
mean,
said it
Eddie will,
yesterday.
right?
He wants the 14. Yeah, he wants the 14. How disgraceful of Eddie of giving the 14 to Nketiah. That's crazy.
The
But
10 to Gallus.
let me
It's
ask
done
you this,
madness.
bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. But let me ask you this question, bro. With the ambition and with the type of personality that you see from Gyokeres, don't you think he's gonna be like, yeah, I want that 14, and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna show them, man? Don't you think?
Yeah, but I'm surprised you asked me. Like, well, we've been talking about Gyokeres. I'm sure you've seen his article, and he's like, I think I'm one of the best strikers in the world. And it's just nice to see a striker talk like that. Obviously, I'm being a bit
Mm,
disingenuous, but we've gone from that to Gabriel Jesus saying goals ain't one of my strong points. The way Raya talks in comparison to Ramsdale, the way Zinchenko actually speaks compared to young Miles Lewis Skelly. Obviously, I'm not saying these guys have bad mentalities, but it's just different. We need a dog. As much as I, win through harmony and everyone's got to be friends and that. Bro, you've played football, I've played football, everyone's played football, bro. This is like it's a high pressure environment. It's elite sport, which I've never been in, so I
mm.
can only imagine. And we're men, it's testosterone, bro. You're meant to be fighting each other and moving
Yes,
mad. We're here to
yes.
make things happen. Like I've seen my team win a league at the Ops ground, and man are not even caring about that because we've conceded. Sol Campbell and Jens Lehmann about to tear each other into pieces. Now we've seen certain
Yeah,
elements of
literally.
that, it's
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
same, but Ben White and Zinni, we need kind of that, like the friend thing is what's it's helped us because there is togetherness, but the friend thing, we need some dogs. Lewis Skelly's got that, a couple of our players got that. You don't need to be a shithouser because I wouldn't say Saliba or Saka with that, but they're on that. What do you make of Jesus playing left wing? Because you know what? He needs to stay fit. But if we just consider Madueke, Martinelli, Trossard, I can't lie. I think Jesus is a better option if he stays fit. And Gyokeres likes to pull to the left. I can just see some interchange. Maybe it's like you said, maybe not on a consistent
Mhm.
basis, but like you said earlier, maybe just to switch up things as we're chasing the game. Obviously, he has to get fit, but I just wanted to pick your brains for that.
I agree. The only thing about Jesus, unfortunately, is his wage.
Yeah.
It's just his wage. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, he's on a high wage. So kind of using that type of player on a high wage like that, it's a bit but at the same time, what, like, who else is gonna get him? Apart from Saudi, no one else is really gonna get him. So we might as well just keep him. If a Saudi offer comes in, I'll be glad for him to go.
And I know
Like,
he's been,
I want the
kind
squad
of
depth.
training with a ball and that.
Yeah. The
I
thing
can't
is
lie, I
that
don't care about the wages no more, man.
fair enough. But if
For a
I were
year,
to
I don't
ask you
care.
if
Like,
the wage could separate us from us offering a bigger wage to other players for Rodrygo, or us getting
I
Rodrygo
hear that now.
pensions,
That
to be
angle
honest with
now I care about it. If these dominoes can fall,
you.
then it is what it is. I just can't see,
Mm.
like, stranger things have happened in football. But the man, I know he's playing with a football now, but it's if you go Saudi or wherever, you're gonna cost some level of a decent fee. And you might not get the way you might get more, you might get less, but you're gonna get some decent wages, Jesus, realistically. Now, if you're one of these clubs, again, stranger things have happened. But at this moment in time, you don't even know how he's gonna react to his second ACL. Are you gonna be flooding to buy him at the moment? I don't know. So I think it's a
I
non-starter
would,
really at the
yeah.
moment. Maybe January the earliest. Some say his deal could get ripped up. I don't know how much Tomiyasu was getting, but Jesus has got 2 years left on his deal, earned significantly more. That is more of a costly termination than whatever Tomiyasu was on. So I don't know. For a year, I just want to
Yeah,
get
he's on
over the
6 million.
line. Like for a year, I'll be real.
Yeah, 6 million. I think he was on 6 million. 6 million for Tomiyasu.
Boy,
The way Madueke
exactly. So you
was
can only
just like,
imagine what Jesus is, and I think, like we said earlier, the Jesus is the Odegaards, the Havertz, anyone that's a senior player or whatever, whether it's because of the lack of football injuries or the squad progressing, there's going to be quite kind of question marks about them. Do you think we have to sell to buy, or do you think it's a thing where we get these deals done, we pause, clean up the wages, then the Ezes and the Rodrigos or this random Joe blogs or whatever have you starts to come into play?
I think I was quite surprised that we didn't get the offset or people out of the club a lot sooner. To be honest, I'm quite surprised that we left it this late. With preseason coming up as well, I would have thought that you would want that, as close to possible that the squad that you're going to be using for the rest of the season. So I was quite surprised. But I think personally, you know how Arsenal is. We've always been, even under Arsene Wenger, where this efficient club that loves to do things the right way and balance the books and stuff like that. That hasn't changed. Kroenke sees this as a business, so I know for a fact we're
Exactly.
gonna have to sell players in order for us to get that. It would be nice for us to be like, what, F it for a year. We're going to try and just go for the Premier League and the Champions League and try to see what we get. But Kroenke is not like that. They don't want to. They don't take that risk. You know what I mean? They don't want to take that
And
risk.
that's the issue. They
But I
would
was,
like to win. They're not dying to win.
that's what I'm trying to say. And this is
And Arteta's got
this
his
is
own
why
problems, but still.
yeah. Again, like, think about it. Most of the people that you speak to, they're gonna say, "Do you remember that time it was linked to Benzema and linked to Draxler and linked to this?" This is way
Higuain
before
and that.
Arteta. This is way before Arteta. Way before Arteta. So it shows you that it's higher than that. It's above that. So Saudi help us.
Yeah, Saudi help us, bro. Like Saudi help us. Even that on terms of outgoings, yeah, it's all fun and games saying how much money do you think realistically we can raise? Like the Jesuses, the Zinnies, the Nelsons, the Fabio Vieiras, the Kiviors. I don't even like throwing Kivior into that because I think he's going to ask to leave. I think these lot of guys that could be moved on. Like, how much can we raise? Is it like I don't think we can get anywhere near 100 million. I think I'll be amazed if we get anything to 40 to 50 million. Because for me, Nelson, what's that? 10 million odd quid. Fabio Vieira, maybe 15, 20, probably a loan. Kivior's interesting. That can get you 30, 40. But I think the Italian clubs are going to say loan with an option to buy. Who else is there? Havertz ain't going anywhere. Jesus ain't going anywhere. I don't think we can really make peace. Zinni, 10, 15. We're more happy to get the wages off.
Yeah, that's the problem. Unfortunately, we don't have the most glamorous players that clubs are looking for, do we? It's it's
Exactly.
unfortunate, but listen, we have to work with what we have to work with, right? I think Zinni will probably get you 15 to 20. Reece Nelson probably get you 10, but Reece Nelson's on 100 bags. What is
This
Reece
is what I'm
Nelson doing on
saying.
100 bags? Crazy, right? So again, get rid. Reece Nelson's on 100 bags. Kivior, if teams will probably come for him, the regional's probably thinking probably be around 20 to 25. You probably get a 30 for him. 20 to 30. Let's give that spectrum of 20 to 30. And then
Something
Gabriel
like that.
Jesus, I guarantee you, we get a probably like a 40 to 50 million bid from Saudi. He'll go.
25,
Arsenal will take
20, maybe even 15. I think they're on anything for Jesus within reason.
Do you know what I mean? Trossard's going for
Because of the
20
wages.
apparently. Yeah,
Yeah,
Trossard's going for 20.
Trossard, forgot about him as well.
Yeah. I think roughly, do you know what? Roughly 50 to 70. 50 to 70.
So
But you
how's
need
that
to
moving
remember,
the needle?
that's not a good look. That's not a good look though, because think about it, that's like 5, 6 players. That's 5, 6 players for only 50
It's
to
not
70
moving the
pounds.
needle.
That's not sorry, 70, that's not good. It's not good enough. It's not
It's
good
not doing
enough.
nothing for us, really, really and truly. Like it's really not. Like it's not helping you get Rodrygo Eze. I know every little helps and whatnot, but that's what I'm saying. Like obviously, I'm sure the club. I personally think the club would have looked at Madueke and it's can we get Eze or Rodrygo. But if you only get 50 million, what you said in your opinion there, if you've committed 50 on Madueke and that does harm your ability for Rodrygo and Eze, bearing in mind you've just committed 50 for Zubamendi, 60, 70, however much for Gyokeres and everything else. This is where Madueke has to work because I do think fans will be right. Like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel type of thing when we need to
Mm,
get over the line? BG, appreciate you for your
mm.
super chat. Gyokeres will score more than Isak. Absolutely. I hope so. But just to know we have a striker that, by God's grace, is up there for the Golden Boot with the Isaks, with the Haalands. I know he's not a forward, but Salah, that helps us. 14 draws last season. If it was cut to 7, who knows what we're talking about? I don't know. And in relation to this
Oh
about
boy.
putting pressure, I think Gyokeres relishes the pressure, really. Like, and in the grand scheme of things,
Yep.
if you're Zubamendi, we've been linked with you forever. So there's pressure on you. Madueke, different, but Chelsea flop, unproven potential. There's pressure. There's pressure on everyone, anyone in general. Gyokeres or Sesko, because of the hype and the links and our need for a striker, you're gonna need that anyways. And when you deep it, Gyokeres has been doubted his whole career. It didn't work out at Brighton. People were saying he's done
Hmm.
it in the Championship. That's why he was sold. He's done it in Portugal. When you've got all of this pressure, I know that I'm not trying to be disingenuous because the number 14 means a lot, but really it's a number on the back of your shirt. Really, really, that's what's gonna make or break you. I don't think he's someone that's gonna succumb to that. I know there's cases where people are wearing the numbers that are too heavy, but for Gyokeres, I think it's a myth. I think that's a myth. I think he'll be all right. And if
Yeah,
he does
yeah.
flop, it's not because of that.
Nah, nah, no, not because of that. Be actually because he doesn't have the ability to do that. Not because of that.
Yeah, it's something like that. God forbid.
No, no, no. For us to have waited for such a long time to finally get a striker, and then because he wears the number 14 shirt, he can't score. Nah, 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 nah. God forbid. God forbid.
He just listen. He needs to score. Arteta meet him halfway. I know he's never gonna be. I know he's not gonna be in terms of the general play. He's probably not gonna be the false nine striker we think from. I know it sounds mad, but Havertz, Jesus, etc., etc. But he can do a bit of that. Meet him halfway. 50%. You have to do that because that's what the team requires. 50% Arteta. I don't know if you got to put Havertz in the pitch and he drops deep or change something. Put him in goal scoring positions. That's it. Because at the end of the day, we all understand we're in a day and age where the goalie has to be good with their feet, strikers have to be good at pressing, but the game hasn't changed. We need people that can put the ball in the back of the net. And we need that ability like Liverpool last season where when things go wrong, when the team's been shit, the tactics out the window, the opposition's making it difficult, score a couple of goals, you get the 3 points and you cut out. As you and everyone in this chat knows, from August until May, you're going to get the wins, losses, and draws you probably deserve. But there's sometimes you probably won when you didn't deserve to, you lost when you deserved to win, and you drew when you deserved more or less from a game. So we need that element in our game, especially the Champions League. We saw it. We saw in the first leg against PSG with no Thomas Partey and the knock-on effects, how depth and quality affects you. Then you look at the first 20 minutes in the second leg. Now, we could have still went out, but we had 3-4 chances. Had we have bagged, we're good. This is a good question, man. Bro, have you seen how Wham Havertz has become? Me, I hear that. I see people in preseason get Wham all the time. We're here to be footballers, not bodybuilders. I don't think Havertz has ever necessarily been weak, but do you take much stock in that?
Nah, nah. I don't care about them things, man. I don't care about them things. I just want to see what you're doing on pitch. What you doing on pitch? That's what I want to see. I mean, I'm expecting again. I know where we get into the hype and to the excitement of talking about the players, the transfers that are coming in, right? But sometimes we lose the kind of excitement as well of the players that we already have. Like I think I'm excited about Odegaard. I'm excited about Odegaard. Like
Are you
I
still on that
think
unlocking stuff?
I'm telling you now, finally he's got a striker. We're gonna see the best of Odegaard. Hopefully, touch wood.
I've gone
Hopefully, we're gonna
past
see
all
the
of that
best of
unlocking
Odegaard.
stuff now. I'll be real with you,
Yeah,
bro.
I
Like,
mean,
now it would help, but bro, it's not even just Odegaard.
yo,
Odegaard, Martinelli dead.
like Martinelli, I'm not really feeling. I can't lie. I love
Everyone who needs
Martinelli as a
unlocking,
player,
I'm
but
not
I'm
on
not
it.
really feeling anything. But
Just,
Odegaard, I think this year is his year.
I
I think
hope
this
so.
year is his year.
He's a father, bro. Like, you lot are old enough, ugly enough. Miles Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri, two of the youngest in the squad. I ain't never said they need to be unlocked. Just source, bro. Because I've
Yeah.
seen Odegaard sourcing when we ain't got no striker same way. Martinelli, I hear some of the logic with left wing and centre mid, and I do think generally there's some tweaking on the left hand side, but we've gone past that now. That was a year or two ago now. In fact, 2 seasons ago. If you're a good player, you're
Yeah.
just playing it like to a degree. I'm not on it, man. It could get him some assists, but then
Yeah.
Gyökeres has to be on the box in the box.
Yeah, but that's what Gyökeres is. Like, don't get me wrong. When people talk about Gyökeres' weaknesses, they talk about him outside the box. These weaknesses are outside the box. You know what I mean? He's not really the best of dribblers. I get it. Inside the box, lethal. That's what we need. That's what we need. I want to ask you though something, bro.
Go
If you
on.
had to put your neck on the line, how many goals do you think Gyökeres is getting?
In the league.
Neck on the line in the league. Just league alone. League alone.
Because it's Arteta. It's actually Arteta. It's actually Arteta. I need you to penetrate central regions. I need you to move the ball a bit quicker. I need you to have plans beyond set pieces. I need you to find a way around low blocks. I've maintained this all summer, and that even if we have that dream summer, we think Gyokeres, Eze, Rodrygo, Odegaard's back to his best, Saka sourcing, Rice continues chipping in a sense in goals. I still think there's a lot for Arteta to do. Like, the meal is only as good. You can bring a chef, like the best ingredients, homegrown. This is £100 steak and whatnot. They have to be able to cook it. If it's the same way it is now, like nothing changed, and I was still, regardless of the season went, and we're still talking about the same old issues. Gyökeres, you got to get me 20 minimum, man. Conservatively 15 plus. I think you can get me 20 league goals. Put him on pens and all of that. I need 20. I need 20. What number are you saying? Certain man are saying 25.
I say 20, minimum 20. Like, if Nicholas Jackson can come in, and remember, Nicholas Jackson is not originally a striker. He's playing on the wing at Villarreal. So if Nicholas Jackson can come in and get 15 goals in his first season, bro, come on, man. If Marino's getting 9 and he's a centre mid, do you know how many chances? If you look at the stats, you know how many chances in terms of chances created, goal chances created.
To be fair, Kai as well.
Not score. Sky, like, come on. Right. So if Gyökeres, listen, I'm expecting him to get 20 minimum penalties. But if Gyökeres gets anything below 15, it's a flop. Big flop.
It is. You need to get 15, man. It needs to.
Minimum 20. I'm not even saying 15. Minimum 20. Do you know what? Because you think about it, bro. He's come out. He said he's one of the best strikers in the world. I like that. Say it with your chest, bro. I like it. On top of that, you're fighting your own club to be like, yeah, I want to go there so I can prove I'm one of the best strikers. Cool. All this nonsense about whether you want to get into it. He wants the number 14. Cool. I'm expecting you to come in and do bits. I don't want to see below 15. Below 15, you're a flop. I'm sorry.
But then I need Arteta to not do no foolishness. I understand Kai has to chip in. I don't want to see no Gyökeres left wing. I don't want to see Havertz. He might probably start the season, but I don't want to see Havertz as your first choice option and Gyökeres is your squad player, because there's a section of I don't believe that's the case. I think Gyökeres is 27. This is a win now signing. I know our club waffle a lot about resale value and all of this. There's no resale value coming from Gyökeres. So just play the man. I think we need to stop reinventing the wheel now. Like, he's your star striker. Play him. Havertz, you can chip in. If he keeps it trill and Gyökeres is starting all the games, no issues. It's if Arteta starts doing foolishness. To go back to what you're saying here, Neil, yeah, I do think Gyökeres, in theory, could help Martinelli or anyone on that left, which is why I said earlier, even if it's just for 30 minutes, I just want to see Gyökeres and Jesus, if I'm completely honest. But as I said as well, I'm past all of that with Martinelli now. Believe in the guy, like the guy, but I accept you for what you are. Your decision-making is pony. You're a squad player unless a miracle happens. I wish I lived in a great world where Jesus could stay fit and score goals. Martinelli had great decision-making. Odegaard could put the game on his shoulders, but I don't. I have to accept everything. If Madueke is a great player, I have to accept what's in front of me until I'm shown completely different. But this is why I still think we need a left winger, because I always feel Saka can do the job. Gyökeres can do the job. We still need somebody, and whether it's Madueke, Trossard, whoever's out there, it needs to work, because let's say the first 10 games, happy as Larry, we're winning games, Gyökeres is scoring. That 11th game, it's not happening for Gyökeres. It's not happening for Saka. It's not happening for Eze or Rodrygo. Naturally, you're going to look at a Marino or Havertz to come off the bench. We need a squad. I think us Arsenal fans, We need to move away from that one man is going to save us all the time. It's just not how football works, unfortunately. Like, it could get dark.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. We need that. We need that squad depth. We really do need that squad depth. Really do.
Do you think you
It's
could see
crucial.
Havertz
It's crucial.
Havertz and Gyökeres playing up front together? Maybe Havertz in Odegaard's role, out of possession, he goes and joins him.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I want us to have that variety in terms of see what Liverpool did there. The reason why Liverpool won the league is because not because they completely blew teams out of the water. No, they were in games where it was 1-1. It was stagnant. What did they do? They bring on
Switch up.
2-3. They bring on Jota, rest in peace. Bring on Jota. They bring on
RIP.
Nunez. Right, everyone can diss Nunez as much as you want, but it's an attacker. It's a body up there, and then they bring on like a Harvey Elliott. They'll swatch a Gakpo with a Diaz. You see what I'm trying to say? Like, it would be great for us to be like, okay, we played a 4-3-3. Things are a bit stagnant. People are locking down Gyökeres. Cool. Take off Odegaard. Put Odegaard up front. To put Havertz up front. He will be the guy that's kind of bringing down the play and kind of shifting off to Gyökeres and gives space for Gyökeres. I want to see that. I want us to be pragmatic. I want us to be thinking, like, how can we change the game? Let's change formation. Let's put another striker up there. Let's put another winger up there. I want us to be like that. Liverpool. I'm watching Liverpool do that. I'm watching Chelsea. Even Chelsea, they're pragmatic.
Arteta said they're the best attacking side of fighting in the league.
Again, I don't know about that.
Arteta's words.
They're pragmatic. Listen, I don't know about that, but pragmatic. They're trying to win something. They're trying to score goals. For us, it's almost like we don't want to score goals, and if we can't score, we don't want to lose. That's what we are. It's almost like we play too safe. And I get it, but sometimes you need to throw the kitchen sink. You need to throw the kitchen sink.
And that's something we struggle with. And then sometimes when you don't do that, you're making a choice. So, I mean, for me, as long as we get the signings in, not to say it's all Arteta's fault, but you don't have a leg to stand on. If you've been provided with the tools, get it over the line now. Because I think as a club, whether that's Edu previously, whether that's Arteta, whether that's, to be fair, the players, we've shot ourselves in the foot time after time. So let's just hope we can get the signings in. Arteta can rework stuff and everything. My last question for you, do you think Gyökeres was a Berta signing or an Arteta signing?
I definitely think it was a Berta signing, but I think, listen, think about it. A manager, they're going to have a short list, right? So you have your strikers, I'll have 2-3 strikers in terms of if this one doesn't go through, I'm going to go to the next one. Naturally. I think Gyökeres was on there, but Gyökeres was probably second, right? Arteta wanted Sesko, and I'll guarantee you, if Sesko and Leipzig were going to, lower the fee, Sesko would have been at the club.
If he still had that 60 million release clause from last year, we have him.
Exactly, of course. But Berta is the one that's saying, listen, Sesko is a bit more expensive. Because think about it, if they're wanting 80 to 90, we're trying to get Rodrygo, we're trying to get Berta, it doesn't really make any sense, right? But I think Sesko was first, Gyökeres was second. Berta's coming in and be like, listen, Sesko's a bit more expensive. If you want Rodrygo as well, you're going to have to get rid of Sesko. But if you want Eze as well, you're going to have to get rid of Sesko. Go for Gyökeres. Boom. That's what I think it is.
In fact, this is a good way to end it as well. If Gyökeres is a Berta signing, can we blame Arteta if it doesn't work?
You always have to, listen, you always have to blame the manager if something doesn't go wrong. Unless things don't go wrong like Nunez, where the player is completely bad. For example, if we're creating all these chances, Gyökeres is in front of goal and he's missing sitters, I get it. Cool, blame the player. But if those chances are not getting to Gyökeres, you have to blame the manager. Don't blame Berta. You can't blame Berta because Marino's scoring 9 goals.
And I'm not being funny. He's giving you a fucking good striker. Like, you haven't gone from, okay, you want Sesko. I'm not even saying Sesko's the bee's knees, but you can't go from, man, I'm talking like you've gone from Sesko, who, is played in the top 5 league, to some random guy in the pub. You've got Sesko, you've got Gyökeres. No two players are the same. Clearly, the club, and specifically Berta and Arteta, they can put their preferences through. But I think, like you said, it got to a point, analysing bare strikers. Okay, Isak is a myth. That's not happening. Hugo Ekitike, we're not really on that for whatever reason. It comes down to these two. as you just said there, yeah, if well, I said as well, if Sesko doesn't sign a new deal last year and he's still got that 60 million release clause, I don't think we're talking about Gyokeres. But as you said as well, I think they deliberate and it is what it is. I think you're in it together. We have been given nothing to believe this Mascara guy is an Arteta signing. We hear Berta wanted that. We tried to get House, we tried to get Viktor Rise. We were linked with Mark Gurhey. Clearly, it's a cheaper one. Now, I think if there's one place I'm confident about unproven talents, like it doesn't make sense, but let's just say assume Madueke was a defender, I would feel a lot different because one position Arteta has shown me you can make a trick out of stuff is defensively. As I mentioned earlier, it's in an attack is horrible. But you've identified Mascara, sorry. Arteta with your ability to coach defenders. I'm not going to do this Arteta and whatever thing. They always tell us it's a collaborative thing. We also hear Arteta has the final say on transfer. So when it works, I praise both of you. When it goes left, I'm on to both of you. I just feel if you are on this overly Mikel Arteta out, you're going to blame him. If you're on this Arteta sexual stuff, you're going to blame Berta. The club always tell us it's collaboration. Make it work. Because do we think Madueke is a Berta signing? I don't know. But you made it happen. You worked together in it. And you need to get over the line.
Definitely on Arteta signing. That's definitely on Arteta signing. It's Chelsea. Definitely on Arteta signing. But so what would you think, my bro? What do you think Arsenal needs? Because right now, I know you said we're going to finish third, right? You think we're going to finish third? So what do you think we need collectively that's going to make you believe like that we're done? Like, we're in for the league.
Several things, man. Several things, if I'm honest with you. And a lot of it is more so the recruit. It's less so much the recruitment. I need to smell it in the air. Like, to be honest, the closest I've ever got to feeling like we could win the league, it didn't happen. But do you remember the year? What was it? Not last season, the season before, like the second half of the season, we're just handling business, like just getting it done. It was ugly, but was getting it done. Yeah, exactly. I need to smell that. Kind of what you said. I need Arteta to pivot things when it's not happening. By all means, I'm not like many fans. I like you know, all the stuff that you get criticized for and your unique brand, do that. But when it goes left and you need to bin the inverted left back stuff and just a new just normal left back, penetrate central areas, all of these kind of things. These are the things I need to see us drop less points from winning positions. 14 draws it has to be dropped to 7. I need to know how good we are at our worst. So these are the kind of things that I need to see before I believe such, because I think Liverpool are mentality monsters. I know City are falling off, but at least they've been there, they've done it, they've worn the t-shirt. Unfortunately, when it's all said and done, 3 very different years, 3 very different contexts, we have come so close, but we're so far, we're second. So I'd say that. And it is around recruitment, because assuming we get Gyokeres, I can't 100% tell you we're going to get a third attacker. Whether that's Eze, Rodrygo, some next one, I don't think that's enough. I hope it works. But I think it comes down to the attack. I wouldn't feel that much confident in our attack. Oh, don't get it twisted. Gyokeres, happy as Larry. Saka, you know what to do. Madueke, all the support. But really, if I want my team to compete on 4 fronts, I'm only really betting on Gyokeres and Saka, really. When you got a whole heap of them at City and Liverpool, you've got the unlikely heroes, man. So, yeah, at this moment in time, purely because I just think City are going to hit back and Liverpool, they've done it. I just think it's going to be between them. Naturally, I hope I'm wrong, but at this moment in time, I think we're third. Don't get it twisted. We still need to fight. And if I'm not proven wrong or we don't get over the line, to a degree, the writing has to be on the wall for the gaffer, man. No, it's not a good season if we finish second. Stop doing all of that. No, it's not. We're not doing that. We're good enough to win some silverware. That's a good season. Win some effing silverware. That's it. For me, anyways. Everyone's allowed their opinion. That's it. I need history. Look how good this squad is. Arteta has been one of the best managers during the Emirates era, not even to gas it. We finally got some stability. You've got a decent squad, got some decent players. Everything has been geared to winning off the pitch, let alone on it, then actually winning. And I think the players need to be reminded of what's winning, bro. Like, fair enough, Gyokeres has won in Portugal. Couple man have won stuff elsewhere. Last time I checked, who's won stuff, like significant stuff together? That's where we need to go for me.
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And you need to remember as well is that players are going to start looking at this, right? And they're thinking, another year finishing second, or another year finishing third,
exactly.
Another year, no. And then they're going to think, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go to that Real Madrid. Maybe I'm gonna go to that Man City. It's happened to us before. Nasri, Van Persie, Clichy, Sagnon. Look how many players it's happened to. So this is the year. Like, there's so many. I want people to realize this as well, is that the reason why I understand for the first time why people want the manager out is because they're realizing there's so many things at stake. Like, we're up here, and it's almost like we're up the mountain, and we can almost get that to that peak, but almost we can flop all the way down as well. And if we finish third, my bro DG, if we finish third, there's
Third,
gonna be
you
some
got the only thing
transfers
that
going
saves you is
out.
winning the
Look at
champs.
Saliba.
Start.
Literally.
And I know you mentioned Seth and
Literally.
Nasri and all them guys, bro, which is true, but it's a bit different for me because whether I liked it or not, that was a paying off the stadium thing. And we weren't buying Rice for X amount, Havertz for X amount, not even getting at the players or saying they're good or bad. We weren't used to this. So if we're losing players now, it is because of the lack of ambition or not getting over the line. Granted, I know there's situations like Cristiano Ronaldo won everything at Man United. Cool. Real Madrid's Real Madrid. Trent's contract was obviously running down and he won everything at Liverpool. Real Madrid are onto you. I understand the food chain. These things happen. But one thing I don't want to do is not achieve stuff with the Sakas, with the Salibas, to a degree, even with the Gaffer. I want this to work. And I'm just simply I'm not saying selling Arteta, sacking Arteta saves us. But at some point, we've seen different players, different Edu and all of that kind of rank. At some point, you're gonna have to look at the manager, at some point. And I also feel I rate Arteta, but I feel the Arteta sexuals, you can't rate him that much because whenever it's time to get over the line, you're not holding him to those standards. If you're ready to waffle about the year-in-year improvements, all of these kind of things, then it's fair to say, because of kind of what you're touching on, we're flirting with it. Why are we not getting over the line? 3 years, 3 very different seasons, finish second. Get over the line now.
We need to get
That's
over
what
the
I'm
line.
saying.
And I'll say this. I'll say this as well, bro. You see our first 6 games, very, very important, right? Because that means the players that have come in, the Gyokeres, the Rodrygo, if we do get that, the Eze, Zubimendi, they need to show us. They're going to show us what you're really about. This is why I looked at the first 6 games and I was like, okay, cool. We've got the players coming in. Gyokeres is in. Show me. This is perfect. Perfect for you to show me if you're going to be on this. And I honestly
Gyokeres
think
Gyokeres and Zubimendi are 26 as well, 26, 27. That's right now, almost.
Experience, man. I'm done with these developing babies. I'm done with Madueke. So I get it, but I'm done with that. I'm done with the developing. I want now. But I'll tell you this, my hot take, and I don't know what you're probably going to say to this, my bro. I think Declan Rice is going to score 10 to 15 goals.
I don't know about 15, but I back you to get 10. I back you to get double figures. You're going to be in those roles.
The spectrum 10 to 15.
If he can scumbag some in the FA and League Cup, granted, great set pieces. I mean, free kicks. Him and Gyokeres are quite dangerous from there. I hear that. My hot take is not really a hot take. I think you're going to see a lot of Kai Havertz in midfield. It's not really a hot take. I genuinely think that. I used to have a hot take that I think we'll sign another left back in the summer. I must admit, I'm starting not to believe that, but I still have hope of such. Yeah, Rice is moving good as an 8. We just need other options.
I never thought that I could see the Rice that I'm seeing now from the Rice that first arrived, even the Rice at West Ham. Like, did you see that goal against Newcastle where we beat them 1-0 towards the end of the season?
Yeah. It's the runs off the ball, man. He's got the physical capabilities. My problem is just how much of a tune.
Is crazy. Yeah.
It's just how much of a tune are you going to get out of him? Because as good as Rice is being, like, and it's nothing to do with you, Rice, because you're doing very well and you're excelling. You're just not like Asante Cazorla. That's not your skill set in it. So it's like how much. That's why I'm so on Eze in that you can be what you'd think from a traditional 8 when things are going left. Just get over the line, Gaffer, man. Please.
Yeah, that's all I can say, man. If Arteta is ever watching this, like, just get it over the line, do what you need to do. But we need to remember as well, it's like, listen, they get paid millions, right, to do what we're talking about. So yeah, 50 mil, yeah, that's not some small money. So I think honestly, we get all the players that we need to get, we're going to win the league.
I hope so, and we'll leave it there, man. Where can people find you, my guy?
I'm on YouTube.
His channel's in the title.
I'll put my neck on the line. Yeah, thank you very much, man. But yeah, RYL Talks Football on YouTube and RYL Football Hub on TikTok. DG, thank you very much. Big up the chat as well.
Man, I got time to speak with knowledgeable football men. You're part of the furniture people. I know he just said his YouTube channel. Do not be lazy. It's in the title. Support the family. Do what needs to be done. He said we're going to win the league if we get all of these signings. I'm going to hold him to that, and I hope he's right. I hope so, because I'm screaming third. You're saying win the league. I don't want to be right in that case. I want a parade of some sorts. Arteta get over the line. We'll leave it there, though, folks, man. I'm sure you lot agree and disagree with what we're saying. Like, comment, and subscribe. Broski, one love.
Bro, man. Love, my bro. Look after, man.
Come on. I need to go get ready for 5-a-side now in a bit, people. You always just